Coming up on Tekzilla, free software, free stuff, well, just a whole bunch of free, and an answer to the classic question, why won't fax machines die? So pull those leftovers out of the fridge and whip yourself up a turkey stuffing and cheese burrito, because Tekzilla starts now. This episode of Tekzilla is made possible by Nokia, the new Ford Sync featuring hands-free calling, music search, and turn-by-turn navigation, and the all-new PC-Matic from PC Pit Stop. I'm Patrick Dorton.
I'm Veronica Belmont.
Welcome to Tekzilla, hands-on reviews of the latest tech and how to make the most out of the gear that you've already got.
Whether you're a beginner or tech support for your friends and family, if you've got a question about tech or a well-reasoned justification for the post-Thanksgiving pumpkin pie breakfast, we've got an answer for you.
Really, we do. It's detailed, well thought out, and, well, it pretty much made my dietitian friend weep.
Oh, that's the best part, isn't it? I love post-Thanksgiving eating everything. Although I ate at a restaurant this year, so I don't have any leftovers.
Oh, do you want me to bring you some?
Yes.
Cool.
But by then it'll be like 2 weeks old, so.
No, we'll take care of it.
We'll take care of it.
We have leftovers.
So, free software is, of course, a staple here at Tekzilla. It's in just about every show. It's on our computers. It's out in the cloud, waiting patiently wherever you might travel, as long as there's an internet connection when you get there. And with all the holiday shopping season spending going on right now, free is looking even more attractive. We're mostly rolling OS X and Windows in this show, but did you want to mention your favorite Linux distro or apps that you've got going, Patrick?
Oh my goodness. Well, yeah, I won't get into like, free NAS or all the 42 different DIY routers I've built, but I gotta say Ubuntu, the latest version, aka Karmic Koala, comes in a live CD format. As always, it lets you test drive it on your hardware without having to install it. Faster boot times this time around, better graphics support, and more. Check out 20 essential tips every Ubuntu user should know over at MaximumPC.com if you're new to it, and it's just this nice, easy, gentle way to get your open source on.
Nice.
If you want to try a free operating system. And while I'm getting geeky, have you ever been to SparkFun.com?
I don't think so.
It's okay. First of all, I will show you a picture. What you're seeing right now is the portable rotary phone. This crew hacked together a cell phone into a rotary phone, so you hear dial tone and you dial your number and it does the whole, it's amazing.
Nice.
It is an incredible DIY electronics hacking site. They do things like teach you how to surface mount solder. It's awesome. They're getting ready for their free day. It's coming up January 7th, 2010. You can get $100 in free stuff if you're willing to pay the shipping, or if you basically get one order. If it's more than $100, you get $100 off, but you can get $100 worth of free parts if you're willing to pay the shipping. So cool.
Not bad. Hey, I was going to mention, I almost called you last night because I needed a male 8A USB cord.
I had one.
Did you?
Yeah.
Son of, dude. So, okay, I was trying to back up all my Steam apps because I was installing Windows 7 on my PC. And I had this Seagate drive that only worked in a base station because it had to be powered from the USB port that I was using. And so it only had USB-A out. It had no mini USB or anything.
This is why I was
going to strangle myself.
There's 4 buckets in my garage that are full of nothing but cables.
You would not, no, we have that.
Not like this.
Oh, we have. You could fill a room with the amount of cables that we have, and I spent about an hour and a half going through every single cable in the house. And I was like, and people on FriendFeed were like, you should just splice together a cable. And I'm like, I can't find my soldering iron. Then they're like, you don't need a soldering iron. I'm like, whatever.
Well,
and I was like, I should just call Patrick and borrow either a soldering iron or get a male A to A USB cable.
Call next time.
I will call next time.
I was up, I was actually putting a scope on my new rifle, so I was up and had all the tools out, so I would have been happy to run over with a soldering iron.
Well, I found a different drive and backed up everything fine and had a perfect installation except for the fact that I lost all of my Dragon Age saves.
Oh,
which is okay because I beat the game the night before.
Perfect.
56 hours later.
I can't imagine doing 56 hours of anything right now.
It was pretty awesome.
Except for maybe reading.
It was pretty awesome.
Oh my goodness, you are so excited. Hey, they call them cloud applications, which means it's stuff that lives on the internet, like Gmail, which you're probably used to, or Yahoo Mail, or Hotmail. You get the concept. Veronica, what are your favorite cloud apps right now?
Well, some of my favorite ones include Evernote, which has been around for a while, and you can use it either on your iPhone, you can use it, on the web, in the cloud, and they also have an application that you can download and use. And it's a great way to take little snippets of web content or images or text and save it for later in a syncing kind of bookmarks
It's
fashion.
like the little fake Post-its they have in OS 10 or like Windows applications.
It's better than
except
that,
it's
though.
actually useful.
It's way more involved, and you can set different tags for different posts and make different albums and share them with people. So say, for example, you're planning a big birthday bash for someone.
Right.
You can save a bunch of different locations that you found online or images of stationery that you want to use for the invites, and then list all the people you want to have, and then share that with other event planners so you can have everything in one place.
Cool.
It's super cool.
The application that changed your financial lifestyle.
Oh, Mint. That would be one of my favorite cloud applications for sure. I love Mint. I mean, they were recently bought by Quicken, of course, so they have that big company behind them now, which is good for some people. Other people weren't too psyched about it, but you know,
This is
to
a
each their own.
hardcore independent VC-funded site. What'll happen? Because Quicken
Well,
also...
exactly the thing they wanted to happen, which is that they got bought for a crap ton of money.
Which is
So
the
good for
whole
them,
point of
exactly.
venture capital.
But Mint, of course, is a finance tracker, so you can add all your different bank accounts and student loans and other investment funds that you have from place to place. And it all puts it in one place so you can see your net worth or what you owe. It's just a great way of keeping track of your finances.
It's either liberating or terrifying, but it gives you a
Yes.
baseline to work for.
It's
like,
the
you'll
first
be able
step to
retire.
get help.
Yes.
Oh, and what it also does is it recommends different like credit cards that you
Right.
can apply for, different accounts that you can apply for that will actually save you money.
And that's actually how they make their money, by saying,
believe.
hey, try this credit card offer, or hey, try this. Oh, yeah, unless they just had no business.
Yeah, I
plan.
don't know if they actually say what their business plan was before they were bought by Quicken, but I think that was the referrals was how they were making the bulk of their money.
You and I both love this next application.
Dropbox. Dropbox is the shizzle. I love this thing. I
It's-
use it all of the time.
It's backup, but it's more than backup. It's basically synchronizing a single folder on your desktop across all of your machines, although there are hacks, so you can actually have it back up multiple folders across all of your machines. It works across basically everything you might want to run.
Yeah, every platform, there's an iPhone app. I think there's apps for different phone platforms as well, but I'm not sure on that. And you can pay for higher capacity. I think it's around
100 terabytes.
100 terabytes
No,
is the
100
terabytes. 100 gigabytes is the top you can get.
Petabytes.
I
Petabytes
think they
of
go
storage.
like there's a 50 gigabyte one, there's a 100 gigabyte one.
You get 2 gigabytes for free.
2 gigabytes to start with, and then if you refer more people, they add more capacity onto your account.
You never need lose your homework or not have access to that special presentation from the office again. One of your personal favorite applications of all time.
Boxy.
It's so shiny.
Boxy is a great application. It's all in the cloud. You can watch all your favorite shows, and you can see what your other friends are watching. It's just a great way to see content and either watch it on your laptop or hook it up to your Apple TV and watch it on your big screen.
It's basically an XBMC mod. It started out on the Apple TV, and then it went to OS 10, and now it's available on Windows too.
Yeah, it's
It's-
fantastic.
It's done. And I actually tacked one onto the end of this list. Gmail, Yahoo Mail, Hotmail, because you're already on the cloud. You just didn't know it was called
I
that.
would just say Google in general these
Yeah.
days is kind of like your one go-to stop for everything in the cloud, because you can have Google Docs, you can have Gmail, you can have a calendar in the cloud, you can have your photos if you do like Picasa web albums. There's a lot of different ways that you can get your content online with Google.
I'm going to talk about later in the show, but to figure out a way to actually run Google Docs locally on your desktop.
Oh,
Yeah.
fantastico.
Still to come, Veronica and I are going to give you our picks for the best free stuff for OS 10 and Windows. But while we've got your attention, let's thank one of our sponsors. Nokia's Booklet 3G, revolutionizing mobility again. Powered by the efficient Intel Atom processor, the Nokia Booklet 3G is built to deliver up to 12 hours of battery life. You heard right, 12 hours of battery life. Never be a slave to power outlets again. And at less than 2.76 pounds light and less than 1 inch thin, the Nokia Booklet 3G is the perfect size for anyone who needs to work on the go. If you're worried about getting online, fear not. With its wide range of always-on connectivity features like G/HSPA and Wi-Fi, you'll always be able to reach the net. And with Bluetooth connectivity, compatible peripherals can connect without the hassle of tangled wires and plugs. With Windows 7 pre-installed, the Nokia Booklet 3G is compatible with thousands of popular applications and services, including Nokia's OV online service. Prices start at $300 with an AT&T Data Connect plan and 2-year activation. You can find the Nokia Booklet 3G for sale at all U.S. Best Buy locations. For more feature info on the Nokia Booklet 3G, go to nokia.com/booklet3G. Welcome to this week's Freebie Download Pick, a free program that we find useful, fun, or incredibly interesting. This week, free HD converter. Solid-state video cameras are awesome. You never have to deal with videotape again. But chances are, if you've got AVC HD files coming out of that new camera, you don't have any software that can edit them. You can spend more money to update your software, but how about something free? It's called the Free HD Converter. This little tool does one thing and one thing only. It converts AVC HD files to AVI, to MPEG-2, WMV, MP4, even DVD and iPod compatible formats. It is so easy to use. Just select the clips you want transcoded and select an output format, then click Convert. In a few minutes, you'll have the newly converted file waiting for you in a format your editing software can actually use. So if you plan on buying an AVC HD video camcorder this season, don't forget to download Free HD Converter.
So it was a little bit tough, but I had to pick my top 5 favorite free OS X apps, and starting at number 5 is Disk Inventory X. I don't know if you've used this one before.
Oh yes, I have.
So if you've got like a full hard drive and you want to know where all that space went, using Disk Inventory X will help you map out all your data that's sitting there on your hard drive, and it does it in a nice color-coded way.
Why do I have this I have 3 copies of all of my iTunes files.
It's like,
what?
That's weird. Where did that come from? So yeah, you can see exactly what type of file is in each location. You can see where on your hard drive this stuff is actually stored.
Because you're always like, where did my hard drive go? And this makes it a visual tool. It's just, it's awesome.
So you can see like, oh geez, like 1/3 of my entire hard drive is being taken up by
3 sets of the same MP3s.
or like, you know, all the photos they have stored on there. I was actually using Disk Inventory X that I realized I should move my iPhoto library to an external hard drive. So very helpful, and it looks pretty cool too. Number 4 would be Carbon Copy Cloner. We've of course talked about this app about a million gazillion times, so it definitely deserves a place on this list. You can create bootable backups, schedule tasks, and all at really good speeds. I think anyone who watches the show could probably figure that this was going to be on the list. So
if you haven't,
we'll move on. Yeah, Smoltron is my favorite text editing app.
Ooh.
Unfortunately, the developer is no longer adding to it. He's no longer working on it, so this is the last release.
Is it perfect already?
I think it's pretty good. You can use it for coding, or you can just use it for random text editing. I use it constantly. Everything I write for the show, I do in Smoltron before I copy it into our regular software that we use, just so I have a backup of it just in case.
Cool.
So it's a great app, and of course it's free. You can do a lot with it too. You can do like shortcuts, and it does a lot of line numbering. So it's great if you're coding and doing HTML stuff. Quicksilver is the first application that I install on any new Mac or on anyone else's that I'm working on, for that matter.
This is not just an application, it is a lifestyle.
It is definitely
a
lifestyle. I have to say, between Quicksilver and Text Expander, which is not free, but I use all the time as well, it makes using your computer just a total breeze, and it's super intuitive. I use it as an application launcher, but you can also use it to make edits to text files or even send emails. It does all sorts of quirky little stuff. Merlin Mann is kind of the god of Quicksilver. He knows all the crazy tips on 43 folders.
How does it work?
How does it work?
Yeah.
Well, you set up hotkeys. You can do like, I think I use Option Spacebar to launch it, and then you just start typing in the first few letters of the application you want to launch.
And up it comes.
So I hit S. I do like, hit the spacebar, hit S, and then Safari launches.
Cool.
I don't use Safari so much these days, but you know what I mean.
I'm with you.
It works really, really well. Once you get accustomed to using it, it's really hard to give it up or use a computer without it, for sure. And then number 1, lately for me anyway, is Chromium.
Really?
Chromium. I've been having a lot of trouble with Safari lately, so I decided to give Chromium a chance. Yeah. It's my new browser of choice, temporarily at least, and it's fast, fast, fast. Now, it's a little bit unstable, because it is.
Aren't we all?
It's kind of like what WebKit is to Safari, that Chromium is to Chrome. So it's still being worked on all the time. It's open source. And
is it being done by people inside of Google or outside? Because it's based on Chrome.
No, Chrome is it's kind of like Chrome is based on Chromium, which is like the WebKit.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I'm with you now.
Correct me if I'm wrong. I get a little bit confused with this kind of stuff sometimes, but that was my understanding. Yeah, and it runs on OS X, and I think there's a beta of Chrome that's available now, but it's kind of a little bit hard to find, and it's not very stable either. But it doesn't have all the same end user features that you would expect from a Firefox or a Safari, but it works well.
Right.
I have some issues with Flickr and some issues with Facebook, and I think a lot of the Flash stuff gets a little wonky from time to time, but it's a work in progress, and so it updates, and it's just nice to see it as it develops.
And it's also, if it's an alternative to Firefox.
Yeah. I got over Firefox pretty quickly, because I had a tendency to add too many add-ons to it and extensions and stuff, and then it got all bloated, and the memory leakage drove me nuts. And now Safari is doing a lot of the same kind of getting bogged down.
Safari drives me insane these days.
I've been getting the spinning beach ball of death constantly with Safari. I don't know what happened, but all of a sudden it went from working great. You know, when the Safari 4 beta came out, I was like, I love Safari. Safari's awesome. Why didn't I use Safari all the time? And then when it became like the regular release, it just...
Yeah, I've been amazed actually. You know, it's been killing everything is Flash, especially Flash videos.
My
these days.
Flash crashes all the time. What is with the Flash plugin?
What
is with that?
Yeah, it's free, but it's pissing us off. Adobe, we love you, but make Flash run better.
What's with the Flash in the computer? You like my Seinfeld imitation?
It's a scary thought.
Sorry.
You have to slide in like, I'm not even going to go there. The world does not, of course, entirely run on OS X. There's BSD and Linux, or of course, Windows. Look, if you love MS Office, that's Microsoft Office. You can get it on the Office 2010 beta for free. If beta software isn't your thing, think about OpenOffice. I've lived on it on and off for years. Zoho.com has a ton of free online Office apps. It's an amazing selection. But unlike Google Docs, there's no offline options. You are on the cloud or not at all using Zoho. Didn't know you could use Google Docs without an internet connection? You need to install Gears from gears.google.com to make it so. It's free. It's very cool. Now, one of the better ideas to come out of Microsoft, SyncToy. It lets you synchronize a pair of user-defined directories. You can use to sync items between a pair of folders, updating one folder from another, including file or folder deletions, or updating one folder from another without any deletions. Syncing can be in either direction, and SyncToy can also keep track of files you rename or rename those in sync destinations. Plus, overwritten files in the destination can actually be saved in the recycle bin in case you need the older version. It's a pretty useful app that's good both for syncing or backing up a non-OS drive. It's kind of like Dropbox, but it's locally on Windows. Look, everybody loves the GIMP as a free alternative to Photoshop, except me. You love the GIMP?
No, I hate the GIMP.
Okay, we hate the GIMP. Nothing personal. I use Paint.net when I'm on Windows. It's just as free, and it's not nearly as emotionally exhausting. Firefox, Chrome, I usually have both my favorite Windows browsers open. I love them both, although Chrome has been leading a little bit harder lately. And if you're looking for a better way to play video on your PC, download VLC, aka Video LAN Client, aka our open source video player of choice. H.264, MPEG 1, 2, 3, and 4, AVIs, WMVs, and VOBs, and yes, DVDs, no matter what region they're coded for. If VLC won't play it back, GOM probably will. Another free client that works with AVI, WMV, Matroska, QuickTime, MPEG 4, OGG, and Flash Video. Fast and simple. It's unique in that most files are supported without the need to download and install additional codecs because they use the FFmpeg? FFmpeg without really attributing the FFmpeg people, so please don't send me hate mail if you're an FFmpeg fan. Look, I'm way beyond 5 apps, so I won't mention DB Power Amp, and Epic CD Ripper, and Audio Transcoder, Hamachi, which is cool free VPN, TweetDeck, my Twitter tool of choice, Dropbox, Audacity, FileZilla, GK2Frag, which is now MyDefrag. What's coming up?
Oh, I wanted to mention another one. Levelator is one of my favorite audio tools that's free, and I think that's available on Mac and PC. I'm not sure about the PC part, but it's great if you have a lot of audio files that you want to have levelated. It's kind of like a normalizer, and it matches all the levels so that everything's at in a similar place.
So basically, you don't go from like that sweet, soft, gentle Brahms thing to being blasted back into your seat.
It just does a really good job. I use it on all the Sword and Laser podcasts, and I think Tom uses it on all East Meets West and all the other podcasts that he does these days. Can't even keep track of that, man.
Or your personal audio collection.
Or your personal audio collection if you want to make some changes.
Any other free software applications you love?
I don't know. I buy a lot of software.
It's okay. That's how we keep people employed, so they can continue to make free software.
We'll have to do a paid top favorites one of these days.
Maybe next week.
Maybe next week. All right. Well, coming up next, Maximum PC's Will Smith is here with his free picks. But first, it's time now to thank one of our sponsors, the new Ford Sync. It offers hands-free voice command of your mobile phones and media players, so when you're in your car, you can focus on where you're going. Sync listens to your voice to let you make calls on your cell phone, search and listen to music and podcasts on your MP3 player, get turn-by-turn directions and real-time traffic and weather, even send a quick text message to folks on your contact list, all while keeping your eyes on the road. To learn more about Ford Sync, go to syncmyridepodcast.com. And to enter one of 15 free Nanos or 15 free Zunes through December 8th, send a tweet with the hashtag SyncMyRidePodcast, and you will automatically be entered. It can be any tweet. You can say how much you love the show, how much you love the Ford Sync, how much burritos you ate today. Just add Sync My Ride Podcast at the end and you'll be good to go. Get the full details at syncmyridepodcast.com. Looks like it's time for another website we just can't get enough of. A website that we just can't stay away from because it's too useful, too funny, or just too darn irresistible. This week's picks, Free Cycle and Neighbor Goods. Since we're talking about things that are free this week, we thought it would be a good time to discuss Free Cycle and Neighbor Goods. Free Cycle is a collection of local Yahoo groups that aim to find good homes for your stuff. If you've got stuff to give away, then Free Cycle is one of the best places to do it. To join, just search for a group in the area that you live. Once you're all joined up, you can peruse the messages from people looking to give things away, or even start a message of your own. This is not a bartering site, so there's no expectation of getting anything in return for the items. Just keep it clean and friendly, and you'll be getting rid of all your clutter in no time. But hey, if you want something a little more structured, neighborgoods.net is a site that's just in the launching process now. You can create an account, add items that you want to share or lend, and then other users can request to borrow that item. Your information is as private as you want it to be, and they have a lot of good conflict resolution tools in case something goes horribly wrong. Like, for example, an item is unreturned to the owner or damaged. And of course, you can borrow anything locally from your friends that you see on the site. They're in open beta now in SoCal, and you can request an invite for other areas as well. So no matter if you're trying to make a little space in your place by offloading some gear, or looking to borrow that game of backgammon from a neighbor, give these two sites a try.
Conveniently enough, Maxima PC's holiday issue has a hefty free section, so we asked Editor-in-Chief Will Smith to come back and talk free stuff for your PC and your stomach. Welcome back to the show, Will.
Thank you, sir.
I understand that you are currently, well, obviously, you have 53 no-cost ways to get more awesome stuff from your PC. It's like Cosmo, but without the naughty
We like
stuff.
to think of ourselves as the Cosmo of nerds, really.
Actually,
minus a little sex talk.
Maybe, yeah,
just a little.
Have you thought about it?
Well, I mean, maybe that's the way to go. That'll help us, boost circulation or
How
whatever.
to meet the women of WoW?
There's sites about that, I hear, so I don't know.
We should probably move straight to your top pick.
Top pick. Well, my top pick was Dropbox, but you ganked that.
Well, I didn't gank that, which is we can mention.
You guys get priority because it's your show.
What's your favorite thing about Dropbox?
Favorite thing about Dropbox is that it's on my file system, right. So I can make symlinks. We've talked about this before, but I can make symlinks. I can do whatever I can to anything in the file system.
Dropbox.
It is glorious.
And you can use it to share files.
Oh yeah. Yeah, and I have 5 gigabytes free because I invited a lot of friends.
So invite friends, get more space without paying. Number 2 on your list, which is actually 1 on the list in the teleprompter.
One on the list in the teleprompter is SourceForge apps, right? SourceForge apps. If you look at all the stuff that's available on SourceForge right now, you're looking at FileZilla, Audacity,
SourceForge.net.
SourceForge.net. SourceForge.com is something else. I don't have any idea what it is actually.
We can check.
I don't know if it's a good idea. It might not be safe for work.
That would be bad.
But yeah, I mean, there's all these amazing open source apps: Audacity, FileZilla, 7-Zip. I'm forgetting some.
Well, if you don't know what SourceForge is, it's a collection of open source applications. Yeah. It is the center for development
repository.
And tracking.
Yeah, it's a repository for file tracking for people who are working on these really distributed open source projects to come and post their favorite stuff.
And there's amazing stuff in there that you've never heard of that will solve your problem if you just go to SourceForge and start searching.
Exactly. Next thing we like, annual credit report. There's a ton of scam sites. It's a good idea to keep an eye on your credit for fairly obvious reasons, so you know where you stand. You don't have any surprises when you go to the bank. There's a lot of scam sites. I'm not going to name any of them, but there's one that's legitimate and real. It's free. You can get a credit report once a year, I believe, from the 3 major agencies. It's called annualcreditreport.com. And everybody should be doing that. It's a good idea.
If you get basically if you get an email, it's about a credit report, it's probably an unbelievably cool identity scam. It's going to take you for everything you'd love and want to buy in the future.
Exactly.
So
exactly.
Handbrake, it's not just for OS X anymore.
No, well, Handbrake's been out on Windows for a long time, but it's kind of a second-class citizen to the OS X version of Handbrake. The big problem with it is it doesn't do DVD decryption by itself, so you have to use a third-party utility to do that.
Any DVD, expensive.
Any DVD is very expensive, but it's the gold standard. It rips anything the day it comes out. I mean, they update it 3 times a month. When you install it, you get sick of seeing the little things that say, hey, there's a new version, you should update me.
But it's
glorious.
If you are archiving 300 DVDs like I did recently, any DVD will make life much, much simpler.
Yeah, well, I mean, what you do is you just rip the stuff to the hard drive, store it there, and then point Handbrake or whatever your ripper of choice is, and you're good to go.
It's good.
But there's a free alternative, too, to any DVD called DVD 4.3. And I think it's at dvd43.com. It's a great free utility. It does the exact same thing. It's not as frequently updated. It doesn't work with HD movies, but it's great for DVD. So
we also want to remind you, as always, please don't steal movies you don't own. Just make archival copies of movies that you do own. Picasa.
Picasa is a great utility. There's two components, right? There's a desktop client that kind of does your the same thing as iPhoto or Photoshop Elements or one of those apps. And then there's this whole cloud thing too, where they, that works like Flickr or something like that.
An image editor owned by Google.
Well, it's kind of a bad image. I mean, it's an okay image editor. It's like a crop and red iFix tool. But I mean, it's pretty good, and it's extensible too. So if you use Flickr instead of Picasa Web Share or whatever their service is called, like I do, you can dump it into Picasa and it'll upload to Flickr for you.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, it's very good.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
So, food. You have two food options.
Oh, yeah,
free food options.
So there's a couple of days a year that you can get free food. I think one of them is Ben & Jerry's Free Cone Day. Who doesn't like a free cone? Krispy Kreme does a free donut day toward the end of June.
Really?
And 7-Eleven does free slushies once a year. And there's websites that track all this stuff, which it would be really incredibly useful if I could tell you the website.
Ladies and gentlemen, go to the show notes. We'll get him to tell us the list. We'll put that there. We'll also have links to Maximum PC's website, because it's an awesome magazine. Go buy one. It's on your newsstand. Help keep Will employed so he can keep telling you about cool stuff. Coming up next, we got some viewer questions for you, but first,
let's thank one of our sponsors. PCmatic is the collection of all of PC Pit Stop's technologies in one place. One of the best-selling PC performance utilities in the United States, Optimize, has been integrated into PCmatic, featuring junk file removal, internet optimization, registry cleaner, and removing unwanted programs. All that plus seamless driver installation, benchmarking tools, and anti-malware. PCmatic delivers security, speed, stability, and performance for your system, all in one easy-to-use application. Since 2000, over 200 million scans have been run at PC Pit Stop. In 2010, PC Pit Stop will celebrate 10 years of helping computer users like you make their PCs faster and safer. Want a deal? Of course you do! You can get a free PCmatic scan now at pcpitstop.com/PCmatic. So check it out and support us by supporting our sponsors.
free software. We've done that to death. What about free content? With DRM all over the place, is the concept of free quality content dead? No! Here are some of our favorite sources for free stuff to watch, hear, and play.
Number one, Hulu.
Hulu. Who knew?
Hulu. Hulu is a website that offers commercial-supported streaming video of TV shows and movies from NBC, Fox, ABC, plus many other networks and studios. Whether it's a new show like V, I actually watched the first 4 episodes of V on Hulu this past weekend.
Cool.
Or an old favorite cartoon like Exo Squad. If you missed it on TV, chances are you can find it on Hulu. Caveat, US only.
Sorry.
I mean, maybe you could find some kind of proxy thing. I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Ask us. We'll tell you how to do it. emol.org, Entertainment Magazine, free movies and TV shows page. This site links to many of the movies and TV shows currently in the public domain that are available for free download. From old classics like Robin Hood with Douglas Fairbanks to these slightly less classic 80s schlock movies like Blood Tide starring James Earl Jones, you will be amazed at the number and vastly varying quality of movies that made it through the Hollywood production lines. Good times, people.
Yeah, you can probably find some on archive.org too. Ooh. I would imagine.
Oh, that's no. You go there. Just check it out.
Check that out too.
Check out well, let's talk music.
Okay. Amazon and iTunes both offer an eclectic mix of free music for download. You'll find some great gems, but you have to roll up your sleeves a little bit and get down to digging. And while they're streaming, not download, let's add in Pandora, Last.fm, and the61.com, which is my personal favorite site, favorite anything lately.
You've been obsessed with that lately.
Yeah.
The best thing about
because it has points, because you earn points for doing things. It's like quests. I wrote a whole article about it on Maximum PC actually this past week about like earning gamer score for life, like doing things in real life that earn you points.
It's a good thing.
Oh, and
she mentioned archive.org. Check out the live shows collection. They're all approved by the artists that basically made the music. They're live shows. The quality varies, but some of the stuff is outstanding, and they have a ridiculous array of types of musics on there. Video games. How about GameTap? The popular online PC gaming service provides a small selection of older and newer games for free. The library of free stuff has been trimmed a little bit since it was sold last year, but the offerings still include Metal Slug, Descent Free Space, Just Cause, and yes, Sam & Max, Abe Lincoln Must Die. And I got to add also, since I just found out about it, and I'm a little excited because of Battlezone, Atari.com. If you like 80s arcade action, basically they have classic arcade games. You can play them through your web browser. Games include Adventure, Yars' Revenge, Battlezone, a couple others. Check it out.
Webcomics.
Yes.
Webcomics are awesome. Some of these are a bit naughty. But brace yourself. XKCD, of course, is not naughty, but has awesome geek humor and math. Penny Arcade blends rage and video games. You can get exceptionally naughty. They also do childsplaycharity.org, which is a good charity.
An awesome
not
charity.
naughty related at all.
No.
It's giving kids in hospitals gaming consoles and ways to
toys.
play games and toys so they can do something, you know, for the holidays instead of being sick and sad and by themselves.
It's just a cool, childsplaycharity.org, go check it out. Questionablecontent.net, it's kind of an indie music meets the geek lifestyle with some of the best t-shirt backgrounds I've ever seen. And just about all the cartoons that my local paper drops are online somewhere, so go read them.
Of course, I have to mention some of my good friends, Scott Johnson at Extra Life, at Obsidian, CommissionComic.com, and Brian over at Mission Deep. And I think he has another one called Guy in a Bush, but I'm not sure if that's a comic. I haven't looked to the website yet. It sounds naughty, but it's not, I swear. And of course there's Gutenberg.org, which has classic texts online. I wish I had known about that one in college.
Because it dates back to the early 70s. It's an amazing backstory, but basically it's free, legitimate, public domain content. It is all of the classics of literature. It is awesome.
Yeah. Can you save them to like a Kindle or an e-reader device?
Yes, you can. Actually, in many cases, a lot of the free books that you pay for at some places probably originated from
Gutenberg. I see.
I could be wrong about that, but boy, wouldn't be surprised. You know what? Just go there. It's awesome, and they're available in tons of formats. Read them on the webpage, read them on your ebook.
Yeah.
Leaker Diaper.
Leaker Diaper.
Not our favorite name, but an excellent question.
He has a question. He writes in, why does faxing still seem to be the #1 method of sending paperwork? In the past few weeks, I found myself needing to send many faxes to such places as banks and doctors' offices. It's been a hoot driving to the nearest postal shop with a fax machine and then pay to send one, but only to find that the other end never received it. If it is received, how long does my personal information sit on top of this machine for everyone to see? Why does this dino of technology still reign? I can't see the point in buying a fax machine when I have a perfectly good scanner, printer, PC, and high-speed connection. What free software, if any, will allow me to use what I have and put this monster to rest? Leaky Diaper in Arizona. That is a terrible name. Come on.
Unless you have a toddler who's tearing up diapers. Well, first of all, the reason fax won't die is because it's an accepted standard. It is basically considered admissible as your signature on a fax sent through is basically going to stand up in court. It's a direct connection between machine A and machine B on a private line. Yes, I know you can do them over the internet now, but effectively, it's useful, it's secure, it's safe, it's understood. Everybody has access to one, even if they do have to drive down to the Kinko's at 2 a.m. to use it.
Plus, it kind of goes without saying that it is, if you're doing a lot of that paper shuffling throughout the day and sending papers back and forth and signing them and sending them, that is easier to do than having to print them out, sign them, scan them, upload them to your computer, and then email them.
Although we know some of you have PDF things where you can basically cut and paste your signature in, but the reality is...
I'm going to do that.
Yeah.
I really need to find a good way of doing that. I think I'm just going to take a big picture of it and shrink it down in Pixelmator and do it that way. But we couldn't find you any free software.
Well, there's a couple free websites that are a little sketchy.
I couldn't find any free websites.
There's a couple of, let me rephrase that. I found a couple of free websites. I wouldn't use them myself, so I'm certainly not going to recommend that you use them. If you have Windows, there's still the fax software is still built in, even to Windows 7, but you need a fax modem. You need a modem built into your machine and a landline.
But you can do that. But the top faxing online services, according to Consumer Reports, are Nextiva, RingCentral Fax, Metro Fax, MyFax, and eFax, which Roger apparently has used in the past with great success. They all have monthly or yearly fees, with the least expensive being Nextiva at about $6.95 a month if you get the yearly plan. Usually they work by sending an email with the document that you want to fax as an attachment, and then sending it to a personalized email address with the number of the fax recipient, and then an @efax.com address at the end, so it goes to their servers.
I wonder, because I know it's like a lot of cases when you fax something and it doesn't sit on the fax machine waiting for everybody to copy your information down, it actually goes into a computerized system that routes it to somebody's inbox. But you always wonder, like, if email is involved in sending a fax, is it encrypted? Is it still as secure?
I'm not sure, but one thing that is cool is that anything you write in the body of the email address becomes the cover letter.
Oh, funny.
So you can say, like, attention, Bob, your brains. You know, I don't know. But you can also receive faxes that way through email. Otherwise, it's probably cheaper just to run to that Kinko's. If any of you know of a free service that sends and receives faxes as an application or as an online web service kind of thing, let us know at Tekzilla@revision3.com.
Oh my goodness, I think we're out of free at this point.
I'm all freed out. I am free spent. Wait, that doesn't make any sense.
I've got one last free.
What?
Sketch comedy, laughter, humor, people. Revision 3 has a new humor show, a comedy show. It's called Landline TV. Yeah, basically, the Landline TV gang's been making sketch comedy for a while now, but they have just joined the Revision 3 family, and they have some pretty hysterical bits ripped straight from the headlines and pop culture, well, memes. Check it out.
These your Cheetos?
Yeah, they're my Cheetos.
You're writing about them on the internet?
All we're doing is protecting people from posts that no one wants to read.
You got an iPhone!
Hi, Barack Obama. It sure is the Senate.
Since Mr. Madoff was arrested, we've been bringing him around the country so people can come by and hit him in the genitals.
I just remembered something terrible from my past, but I can't tell you what.
We all have secrets, Don. Let's smoke indoors.
You guys hit each other so much. Like right now, Jerry, you have an enormous mallet.
If you're laughing, do yourself a favor, check out Landline TV. You can catch it every Wednesday at revision3.com/guess with me, Landline TV.
And for all of you watching, we live on your questions. Maybe not so much this week, but more in the future. So email us, Tekzilla@revision3.com. Tech help, product reviews, how-tos, you ask us, we'll do it. But we need those emails, so don't be shy. Send them on in to Tekzilla@revision3.com.
Even better, send us a video question. Think of all the fun you can have and the admiration of your friends and family when they see your shiny face on our shiny show. Just keep it to 15 seconds, upload it to YouTube, and send us a link in an email with video question in the subject line.
And as always, you can visit our forums at revision3.com/forum. Share your thoughts, ideas, or comments with other fans of the show. Thank you guys so much for watching.
I'm Patrick Norton.
I'm Veronica Belmont.
Till next week, you've been watching Tekzilla. He's
no,
giving
he's not
himself
even visiting his family.
The ultimate holiday present. He's going to play video games for 36 hours, hanging around in his underwear and sucking down beer or whatever he drinks.
That would be really funny. So it was a little bit tough, but we had to pick my favorite OS X apps that were free.
Actually, you had to pick them.
We had to pick them. I had to pick them. I meant the royal we,
oh,
Patrick.
Okay.
I meant
we had to pick our.
Our.
You said we had to pick my, and I was like, no, no, no.
Bust. For grammatical whining. So it was a little bit tough that I had to pick my favorite OS X free apps, and here they are. My first one.
Come on, we'll play quarters.
No, no. Put it away. They're an open beta. They're an open beta. Open beta. Open beta.
Oh, I look stout.
All set out here.
He does look like a lumberjack.
I'm gonna get bigger.
But I heard he never wanted to be a lumberjack.
Well, I heard lumberjacks are okay.
I'm a lumberjack.
Don't quote me on that. We're not recording yet, right?
Yes, we are.
Oh boy.
Hey, let's talk about free stuff. Since you obviously will be out of a job soon and needing free stuff.
We're good.
I'm teasing.
I know.
Should we restart the whole thing?
It might be a good idea. Yeah.
Classic 80s schlock movies like Blood Tide starring James Earl Jones. Okay. I was thinking like, okay, it must be some obscure star that happens to have a similar name. So
maybe that's his real middle name or something.
I thought it was just supposed to be funny.
No, your porn name is the street you grew up on, your middle name, and the street you grew up on.